Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy. Today I've been tagged by What's the Point EDC. Go check his channel out. He's doing an open tag about 10 USA made fixed blades. Show me 10 USA fixed blades. There's no other parameter other than it's a fixed blade and made in the USA. And for me to answer his open tag, this is going to be an easy one because I have a bunch of USA made fixed blades. The hardest part was putting them together for this. And let's start this off with the biggest one in the group. I tried to do 3 kind of EDC style, 3 medium and 3 large, like choppers. That creates 9. So the 10th one's gonna be an outlier. It's just gonna be a moose. The 10th, number 10 on this list is the Tops El Chete. USA made, 1/4 inch thick, 1095, 2.5 inch tall, freaking chopping monster. This thing's huge. It barely fits in the frame. Badass knife. Not a super big fan of the handle, gonna be honest. I really wanted to love this knife more than I do, but the handle kind of ruins it for me. It's not the most comfortable one ever. Still, if you want a good big ass chopping knife, this is your knife right here. So I'm gonna try to lay these out where you can even see them. So that's number 10. Number 9 is a classic that not too many people know about and not too many people have. I was lucky enough to find one in a secondhand fashion, offer up. The guy was selling it for $100 and I jumped all over it. It is the Gerber made in USA buoy knife. This thing is like an Australian buoy, Austrian buoy, I don't know. They have a bunch of freaking names for it. They don't make them no more. I don't know why. I think it was the best knife that Gerber ever made. It's got a beautiful solid chunk brass guard there, nice coffin shape handle, super comfortable. I mean, this knife is old and it's held up pretty well. Somebody really used this back in the day, not me, and they used it. They did not take care of it, but it's still, you know, pretty good actually, to be honest with you. Made in USA. I do not know the steel. It's made in Portland, Oregon. It is stainless steel, but I do not know what brand it is. It is 5/16 inch thick, just like the Trailmaster. I did a short on this and everybody's like, oh, it looks like a Trailmaster. Yeah, it's pretty much the damn same thing as a Trailmaster, except for Gerber made it. So there's that. We're gonna have to, yeah, is that even gonna be on camera? Right there. Up next, a knife that everybody knows about. I recently purchased it. I hated on it for a long time. The K-Bar BK9. This thing is has impressed me. You know, I like it. It's comfortable. It's 3/16 thick, 1095, pretty tall blade, saber ground. I pulled off the coating on this bottom part. I left the top part. I blued it. You can see it's wearing off because I use my knives. Textured the handle, and pretty good knife. You know, they used to be a lot better priced. They're kind of a little bit too, I don't know, expensive for what they are now, in my opinion, because these used to be a good budget knife, but they're not really budgety anymore. They're up there in cost, but good knife. People like them. I like this one. That's that. So number 7. This is the SE JUNGLAS. This thing is a chopping monster, and it is a chopping monster almost like the Tops El Chete. But you know, I love the Tops, I still have to go with the SE. The JUNGLAS is just a badass knife. There's just no way around it. If you've never used one, you don't know, and if you own one, you know. Fantastic knife, and I've used the crap out of this, and look how that finish that they put on there, it holds up pretty damn good. Good knife, and quite large knife too, because it is not going to fit in the camera. On to our medium knives. Let's go biggest to smallest. I guess you're not really going to see a pattern here because I just have sporadic knives. Not too many good large knife companies for fixed blades in the US. Tops Longhorn buoy. I freaking love this thing. It is not a super big knife, but it has the big knife attitude because of this way you can hold this handle back here. It has like a handle and a half. So you get three fantastic positions on here. You got a choke up position, you got your standard hammer grip, and then you got some, let's get some power action going on here. So like if you look at where you're holding this versus this, it's a much smaller knife, but it has good reach on it. So overall, you know, it's not quite that big, but it handles like a big knife. One thing though, look at that rust it's already getting. That is underneath. This is clear Cerakote. It is rusting underneath. It's $10.95, so I mean, it's to be expected. Most of it comes down to my poor maintenance, but it is a problem. You know, if you're gonna get a carbon steel knife and you don't take care of it very well, it is gonna rust. So maybe one day I'll pull this coating off of it and refinish it and maybe blue it or something. So there's that guy. Up next is another knife that I've really enjoyed and is discontinued, and I wish they never did because I want another one. Not too many people have these. I'm always shocked to see when somebody does. This is the Benchmade Argus 119. Yeah, this thing is I always get this confused with the Adamas. They have the Adamas, the Argus. This is the Argus. It's in 154 cm steel, saber grind. This is another one of those knives that's not that big, but has big attitude, just like this guy. This knife always impresses me every time I use it. I've owned it for a long time. When they first dropped, I bought one because how could you not? It's just badass. Everybody kind of says it kind of looks like one of those Chris Reeves Pacific, I think is what it's called. It kind of has that style, but you know, this style of knife has been around for a long time. So did somebody copy it? No. I mean, everything's a copy of something, you know. It's not an exact copy, but I still love this knife. Fantastic pinned on handles with titanium rivets. It's just a cool knife. People shit on Benchmade, and you know what that is? That is just price bias, in my opinion. They don't think it's worth it. I think they're very much worth it. Number 4 in my medium-sized category is the ZT 0006 USA made CPM 3V G10 handle scales. Cool freaking knife. I would have never bought this on my own because it's just way overpriced, but the fact that it was a gift to me, that makes it worth it to keep it in my collection. It's a cool knife. I really do dig this knife. It's just, God, people complain about Benchmade, but ZT's prices are just off the charts. They do make fantastic stuff, but you know, it's just too much. This is another one that it is a clear Cerakote, and because TPM 3V will stain, it will rust, but cool knife, terrible sheath, but sweet knife. Now let's get into the 3 EDC sized ones, smaller versions. And number 3 is an absolute favorite of mine. All these knives I like, but SE4 and S35VN just holds a special place in my heart. I did buy the extended handle scales for it, so it fits my big ass hands better. This thing's just a fantastic little EDC knife. I ended up getting actually all 3 of these last knives have a Carl Thomas leather sheath, scout style. I just when I wear them scout style, and I really dig it. This is just a fantastic knife. Everybody craps on SE. I don't know why. A lot of these knife companies they crap on. People crap on Tops, ZT, Benchmade, SE, and you know, I don't get it. This is a fantastic knife, worth every penny for a 4.5 inch. Yeah, 4.5 inch, 3/8 thick slice of S35VN. It is a fantastic knife, and it's definitely worth upgrading the scales. You don't have to. I chose to, and I'm glad I did. Another SE product for number 2. This is the SE3, also riding in a Carl Thomas sheath. I freaking love these things. Look up Carl Thomas on Amazon. Everybody asks me where I get my sheaths. Carl Thomas on Amazon. Go on Amazon, type in Carl Thomas sheaths. It's not that hard. Even the freaking computer impaired people can still figure this out. Use your phone, use your tablet, freaking send a smoke signal, whatever you do. Look up Carl Thomas sheaths. It's not freaking hard. Check them out. They're like 35 bucks. Badass. Anyways, this is the SE3. It's an 1/8 inch thick blade. Great little EDC knife. These things have excellent blade geometry to be slicey because they're just so, it's such a tall, thin, flat ground blade. Being 1/8 inch thick at the top, these things are just slicey. Very, very slicey, even more so than the SE4 being 3/16 inch thick. They just work, and they work well. This one I did not upgrade the handles. It is a little small for me, but for the size of the knife, it doesn't matter because I don't need a full purchase on a tiny knife like this. This is plenty enough. But anyways, that's that. And number one is the Benchmade 200 Puko. I freaking love this knife. I had my Christmas party last night. I wore this, and you just don't even know it's there. Great freaking good size handle for this little knife. It is pretty much the same size as a SE3, roughly, overall and everything. They pretty much are. Just fantastic little knife. CPM 3V, you can't go wrong with that. Super tough. This makes all you Mora fanboys pissed off to see this because, you know, you just refuse to spend more than $15 on a knife in 2023, which cracks me up. But this thing is something I would have never purchased except for the fact that it was just there. I never went out to buy this, and now that I have it, I just don't see how I lived without it, to be honest with you. And Carl Thomas sheath. The sheath that it came with is not known for being anything special. I don't have it near me right now. But I went on Carl Thomas's website on Amazon. Do it yourself. Don't ask me in this video, where do you get those sheaths? Frickin' look it up yourself. You're an adult. But I ended up ordering this guy. 35 bucks. Look at that stamping. Look at that stitch work. Got a nice thick welt. This is actually made on their website for the SE3, right? It's a SE3. I don't even know how far that fits in there. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, this thing's made for an SE3 for scout carry. Freaking awesome. And when I got it, I was like, you know what? I wonder if it'll work. Sure enough, when it came, bam. Carl Thomas sheath for an SE3 for the Benchmade 200 Puko is just a badass combination. I will probably end up dyeing this thing black though, just because I'm not a fan of this dark brown. But I wore this last night, and you just forget it's even there. It's freaking awesome. Great edge retention, or not edge retention, great sheath retention. There's no rattle, there's no nothing. It holds in pretty good. Actually, really, really good. It ain't coming out at all. Fantastic little upgrade for the Benchmade 200 Puko. We're not talking about sheaths, we're talking about knives. So right here is my 10 USA made fixed blade knives in response to Frank at What's the Point EDC's open tag. This is an open tag, so anybody can join in. He just ended up tagging me. I'm not gonna tag anybody. If you watch the video and you have a YouTube channel, feel free. I recommend it to hit up Frank, check him out. Watch his video on this, which I'll link, and let's see your knives. Let's see 10 USA fixed blade knives, and let's keep it at that. I don't want to see anything stupid like, oh yeah, you know, this one's made in Brazil. No, USA made fixed blade knives. That is the only category. 10 of them. Let's see them. Thanks for watching.